What's going on, y'all? My name is Muhammad Lawal, and y'all know me as King Mo, and I got my boy.
Your man V Styles representing Detroit.
And then
And
we
the
got,
and the new king, Party Marty.
and we're here doing the mythical matchups. Today, we're just going to discuss some matchups that Orlando, aka V Styles, brought up. So go ahead. Let's start off with the first matchup, Marty.
All right, we got by popular demand, we got Terence Crawford versus Sugar Ray Leonard. And tell the tape here, Crawford's 5'8", 74-inch reach, and we're gonna do 147 pounds for this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Athletic, lean, wiry, strong build. He's a switch hitter. He's trained by Brian Bomac McIntyre. He's at the B&B Sports Academy. And his style is he's a switch hitting counter puncher with precision and power. And on the Sugar Ray, he's a little bit bigger at 5'10", same reach, 74-inch, 140 pounds, athletic and strong build. Trained by the legend Angelo Dundee. We all know who Angelo is. He worked out at two gyms, the historic Gleason's gym and also Pony Express. Leonard was orthodox, known for elite speed, footwork, reflexes, and power. We'll start with the guest who's wanted this fight.
Okay, so this was a hard one for me to really choose, man. To be honest with you. With this being a mythical matchup, I sit back and think about seeing Sugar Ray back in the day and watching him beat Thomas Hearns and all the great fights that he had. At 147, I chose Terence Crawford. And I'm gonna tell you why. Terence is he can go like what you said earlier. He can go both ways. So he has an uncanny ability to figure you out. And then once he has you, he pretty much has you. I think he would honestly probably stop Sugar Ray Leonard. He can go unorthodox. I think Sugar definitely has the speed over him, but I see Terence kind of figuring him out, man. Sugar Ray was kind of like a one-way fighter to me. He utilized the speed, and once he had you, he went for the kill. It will be a close fight, the early rounds, but I think the later rounds, I think Terence will probably walk him down and probably stop him somewhere like what Terry Norris did, back in the day. So I'm taking Terence Crawford there.
Wasn't that older Terry Norris, though? I mean,
That was an older Sugar Ray.
So,
I'm not using that to say that particular guy, but I'm saying he would stop him like that.
Marty, go ahead, Marty.
It took me a little bit to think about it, but I think, man, at 147, Sugar is just, I don't know, hard to beat. Not a lot of people can beat Sugar Ray at 147. I think that power would be overwhelming for Crawford because, you saw what Gamboa did to him. Gamboa had him on skates like he was Olympian. And then at 140, he got dropped by the Mean Machine. They should have called that. They didn't call that a knockdown. So I think, and then let's look at it realistically. Do you think Terence Crawford can match Hagler at 160 like Leonard did and take it to a decision like that? No, I think Hagler would have knocked out Crawford. Do you think Crawford can move up to 168 and challenge Lalonde like Sugar Ray did and carry that power up and win that fight? I don't think so either. I think Lalonde would be too much for Crawford. Just looking at those, how Leonard moved up different weight classes, held his own, got his respect, and even pulled out some fights. I think it'd be too much for Terence. I think this is too much power. I think the speed and power this would be overwhelming for Terence. Terence likes to, like you said a while ago, he's the one guy that if you hit him, he wants to come back and get his cake too. So that's the thing. And I think opening up against Leonard would be a mistake, in my opinion. Him trying to come in and make it a dogfight against Leonard, that's not the thing you want to do. Leonard is just too quick, too hard of a puncher to the head and the body. And then I think that he'll wear him down eventually and stop him late rounds. Just because Terence doesn't have the best defense and he's going to get hit like he's never been hit before. and he's going to face speed and a jab that he's never seen before and footwork. So I think Leonard stops him late 10th round.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Now with me, okay, so one thing I could say is that Crawford has usually had the reach and the height advantage over most of the opponents. And he's yet to face anyone with a longer reach or more of a physical skills, more physical tools or attributes than him. Sugar Ray Leonard has in Hearns. Now, I think that experience with him facing someone that's a more rangy. Oh, is that Schwan?
Yeah.
Schwan's a little rangier. I think that Sugar Ray Leonard get the win on. I'm not saying he would stop him, but I think he gets the win. And I think that sometimes Crawford tends to start off slow. And I think because of that reason, I think that Sugar Ray Leonard jump out.
Yeah, you hear me?
Keep the win. To get the victory on Schwan, you hear? Yeah. So you just hopped at the right time. We're talking about
Is everybody already talking, or am I going?
Sugar Ray Leonard or Terence Crawford? Who you got? Yeah, so Orlando picked Crawford. Marty picked Sugar Ray Leonard.
I'm probably gonna have to
picked
say
Leonard
Sugar Ray Leonard
Who you got?
too. I think Crawford just has a mean streak, and against Sugar Ray that would cost him. Sugar Ray's as good an athlete or better. He's a much better boxer. The advantage Crawford always has is he's old school, and he covers all the details that a lot of these current guys don't. They have holes for him to exploit. Sugar Ray Leonard doesn't have as many holes for him to exploit, and I think Sugar Ray would probably be the biggest, fastest, and biggest puncher he'd face, and I think that would be the story of it. Crawford has openly said in his two biggest fights, once I realized they couldn't hurt me, I was a different man. Sugar Ray Leonard's going to hurt him from beginning to the end of the fight. I know he's got a good chin, but he's going to get hurt in that fight early and often.
What you want, Mochi? Say hi.
So should we wait or should we keep it going?
You know what? Let's keep it going because we picked Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I'm saying? So we'll wait till he hops back on. But you got
a breeder down there?
Huh?
You got a breeder down there? Because I want another one.
No, I don't got one down here. I have to find another one.
Okay.
But with that being said, Schwan makes some good points. And, because one thing about Crawford is usually a rangier guy, a little taller. Has he fought anyone taller than him? Julius Ndongo, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
What's Julius's reach? Because
I don't know if it's
he was tough African.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like very athletic compared to Hearns.
No.
All right, so let's go to the next matchup.
All right, we got Orlando's boy. We got James Toney versus Bernard Hopkins. So Toney is 5'10", 72-inch reach. We're doing this at 168 pounds. Tony's thick body type with broad shoulders and power. Trained by Bill Miller, then Freddie Roach. His primary gym was top level gym, but would frequent Kronk gym for sparring. Known for being one of the best defensive-minded counterpunchers ever. Great inside fighting with iron chin and high IQ. Hopkins, 6'1", 75-inch reach, 168 pounds. Lean but muscular build, very durable. Both guys are orthodox style. He was trained by Bowie Fischer and then by the legend Nassim Richardson. So, Mo, you want to start it off?
Right now, we're not discussing Hopkins versus Toney. So
Okay.
we haven't picked anything yet. So you want to go first? Who wins?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I want to say Hopkins because he's
168.
168. I want to say Hopkins because he's a more disciplined guy, and Toney I don't like Toney's training habits, but Toney's just a much better athlete. He's a bigger puncher, and once again, like I said with the Crawford thing, Hopkins feasted on guys being inexperienced and having holes in their skill set. James Toney didn't really have a lot of holes in his skill set. His holes were his lack of attention to detail and his consistency in his preparation. If he would always came in shape and didn't blow up, I don't know who would have really beaten him, to be honest. Maybe just Roy Jones Jr., but that was when Roy was untouchable. I just think he's as good a boxer. I think he's got as much of a mean streak. The only difference is he's a much better talent. And when everything else is equal, the talent is what determines the fight, in my opinion.
So who you picking?
Me?
No, who you picking, Swan? Who you pick?
I'm sorry. I'm going with Toney.
All right. I'll go next. I got Hopkins, and I'll tell you why. I just don't trust Tony's discipline at 168. And who knows how he's gonna rehydrate. I know he's gonna train hard. I know he's gonna spar hard. But at 168, when he fought Iran Barkley, he looked amazing. You know what I'm saying? But as he gets on going up in weight, no, you know what? Damn, you know what?
Tony all day.
If this is at 160, my bad. 160, I would have picked Bernard Hopkins. 168, I got James Toney because I forgot the Iran Barkley fight. That was even though Iran Barkley is not James Toney, not Bernard Hopkins, that was the best performance I've ever seen by a boxer.
That was right after that was right after he knocked out Hearns.
That was the first time. That was James Toney's first fight up at super middleweight. So I got James Toney. I don't think about stoppage. I think because Bernard Hopkins is very crafty in there, and he'll probably clinch, make it ugly. But I think James Toney by decision.
Me or you, Marty?
Whatever you want, big dog.
I'm taking James. I think y'all know I'm taking James. James is my favorite fighter. Honestly, I think it can go either way. But if I had to pick, I would say probably decision. James knew how to adapt. I do agree with my guy up here. What's your name, brother?
Shawan.
How you doing, Shawan? I'm V, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I do agree with Shawan. Like, James is my favorite fighter of all time, but I can only imagine what he would have been like if he was a lot more disciplined in regards of coming in fight shape. I still look at that Roy Jones fight as it's more to it than what we all saw. And I'm still disappointed Roy never gave him a rematch. But I would take James Toney easily, man. I love Bernard Hopkins, but at 168, man, in the heavier divisions going up, especially at 168, man, I'm definitely taking James by decision. But it could go either way, you know, because James was special, man. I've yet to see another fighter that was like him.
Yeah, I agree. Toney too, decision. I would like to think this type of fight, Toney would come in shape and take it serious if he had a fight with Bernard Hopkins. I don't think he'd be the one out getting overweight, whatever, is not doing properly. So I think Toney was better everywhere. Like I said, a better puncher, stronger. Defensively, it kind of evens out. Ring IQ kind of evens out. It's going to come down to when Bernard wants to throw that straight right hand and clinch. And clinching with Toney, not the best thing to do. Tony's going to outwork him on the inside. That's where Bernard is not going to want to be. Bernard's going to. This is what kind of reminds me of if I had to compare movies. James Toney is Fast and the Furious. If you guys have seen The Revenant, it's a slow burn. That's Bernard Hopkins. The movie The Revenant is a slow build up, and that's who Bernard Hopkins is. He takes his time to build up, and when it gets around the fourth round, that's when he starts to pick his pace up, and he breaks his fighters down by then. But with Toney, I think Tony's going to start fast, and Toney will be too much because Bernard's not going to be able to catch up around the fourth or fifth round like he does with the other guy. Tony's too smart, too active, too much on the inside for Hopkins to catch up, try to clinch, wear down. It's not going to work on Toney. Tony's going to get under his, and Tony's going to outwork him like I said, clinch. The decision, in my opinion. Bernard, too slow of a starter. Toney, too quick of a starter, too strong on the inside.
Next matchup. What's next?
This one's the hardest for me to decide. So it's Lennox Lewis versus Larry Holmes. So the build-up, Lewis is 6'5", 84-inch reach, 240 pounds in his prime. Large, muscular, athletic build, orthodox, style trained by the Emmanuel Stewart at the legendary Kronk Gym. Lewis had a great 1-2. He used his high reach and with footwork and high ring IQ. So basically, what a Kronk fighter is. That's basically what Lennox Lewis was. Holmes was 6'3", 81-inch reach, 220 pounds, tall and lean, long arms with a rangy build. Orthodox, trained by Gil Clancy, and he trained out of local gyms in Pennsylvania. He was a great boxer with a long, accurate jab, good footwork, counterpunch. So
I'll start off with this one.
Okay.
I got Larry Holmes in this. I think his right hand would find the mark. I think he's more mobile. If you watch the fights that Lennox Lewis lost, or he had problems with, right hands will land in left and right. And Larry Holmes' jab is the best setup for that right hand. Larry Holmes would go back and forth and walk him into something. Larry Holmes was a dog. He was in shape. Larry Holmes is my favorite heavyweight of all times. Like, Larry Holmes just
super underrated, man.
Like, highly underrated. Larry Holmes was the next, like, an Ali prototype in a sense, with a little more dog. And I think like, Lennox Lewis was just too stationary for him.
Yeah.
Larry Holmes is too mobile, and he learned that jab out on him all day. He landed the right hand, and I think he'd stop him.
Yeah.
I think Larry Holmes stops Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Oh, you want to go? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You already had your mind. Go ahead.
So, I'm with Mo on that. I've never seen a jab like Larry Holmes ever in my life. I think that jab comes consistently. I think it will frustrate Lewis, and the jab sets up the right hand, and that jab is just not going to stop. Volume-wise, it's going up each round. I think Lewis coming in, the muscular guy, I think that would take a toll too. I think he would be tired by the 8th, 9th round, and I got Larry Holmes knocking him out somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees that Larry Holmes arguably had the best jab in boxing history. Can't deny that. And Lennox had a good jab too, but like I said, he'd shut down, not very active. He can kind of get lazy, complacent in his fights. That's his downfall, and not the best head move too. So yeah, Larry's 1-2 is going to be too much. His jab, number one, and number two. Anybody that can take a punch from Ernie Shavers and get back up, you're not going to beat him.
Ooh, yeah.
Larry said he was knocked out from the punch, but when his head hit the canvas, he woke back up. But he could have said, I'm done. I ain't trying to get back up and fight Ernie Shavers after that. For him to get back up and show that he had a chin and heart, you're not going to beat that guy. So those are my reasons. Jab, a couple reasons. Jab, footwork, athleticism, and the ability to get up from an Ernie Shavers punch, right hand, you're going to win that fight.
I'll probably be on the contrary to y'all on this, mainly because of who's in the corner. I just have a great deal of respect for, oh God, I just slipped my mind.
Emmanuel Stewart.
There you go. Sorry, Emmanuel Stewart. I don't know that, like, when Larry fought, he had certain advantages coming into fights. He was like a prototype for the bigger heavyweights nowadays. He had the size, he had some length, and even for guys who might have been defensively slick or really good at applying pressure, that extra length, that extra gap they had to navigate made it very hard to get around his jab, made it very hard to neutralize it, because even when you get in on him, he had the footwork to turn you, but he also had the physical strength to smother you or push you back off and get you to the range he wanted. A lot of when I break down fights is how much of a gap has been between this guy and previous opponents and their current opponent. I don't know that Larry had faced a guy who had what Lennox brought to the table as far as length, comparable size, comparable strength. I still think Larry's a better boxer overall, but I think Lennox Lewis would be the heavier puncher, and he has a better cornerman. I think if he had a whole camp where he's preparing for Larry Holmes, and Emmanuel Stewart has a whole camp focusing on Larry Holmes, I have to think that he'd be able to come up with a good plan, good game plan, and have an adjustment. A lot of what I'm thinking of is that the corner and the preparation might be the difference in allowing the fight to be close or to be in the favor of Lennox Lewis. I probably normally would go Larry Holmes, but in this case, when you have such a disparity in the corner, I'm going to go for Lennox Lewis.
I could see Manny telling him to tie him up and use that weight on him.
Try to, but Larry
He
Holmes.
tried to, yeah.
That's the only thing. My thing is, I ain't like how when Lennox Lewis slowed down. That's one thing. He slowed down. He was there to get hit by right hands. When he fought Vitalik, even though he's training for Kirk Johnson, when he fought Vitalik, like that was Vitalik was beating his ass though.
Man,
Vitalik was putting up beats by Dre's on him.
That cut,
I just think
didn't happen.
Lennox Lewis has fought. I mean, he hasn't fought anybody with Larry Holmes' jab, but he's fought guys with size, length, and good jabs. I don't know that Holmes has fought a lot of guys who would be comparative to Lennox Lewis. So to me, Lewis would have an idea of how to attack Holmes. I don't know that Holmes has an idea how to specifically attack Lewis. Even though they're different calibers of fighter, it's kind of vaguely on the same realm. We're going to be jab oriented. We're going to move. We're going to use our pressure. We're going to be busy with the jab. We're going to control range. We're going to break a guy down. Lewis has faced that, not to that degree, but he's faced it.
Not really, because Vitalik wasn't a mover. Like I'm talking
That's
about,
true.
You can't name most of the guys he moved back that time were just they were just right there to get hit. He didn't face any slick movers. Cause don't forget, right? And boxing swings like a pendulum. So like we had the Ali, then we had the Mike Tyson, then we had the big. You know what I'm saying? Like so, if you think about this with the Mayweathers, everyone's defensive. Now people are more offensive, more southpaw work. You see more. You see whatever you see winning then gets defeated by what you see now. The stylistically, I'm not saying that the fighters might do it, but I'm saying stylistically, a lot of times people create a new style that can defeat the old style that was successful. That's why Floyd, in my opinion, Floyd's a great fighter, but he's had problems with what guys are doing now because these guys are throwing way more punches, and also, if you see the judging, they're not really judging, and taking defense into account anymore. Even with MMA, they're looking at everything's pure about offense now.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. Even if, let's say Lewis hasn't, Emmanuel Stewart has seen that. Maybe he hasn't seen it heavyweight, but he's seen it before. So that's why I'm thinking he can come up with a game plan to kind of neutralize this a little bit and get it to where we have an even playing field and see if Lewis would get pushed. He'd be tired late. He'd have to struggle to get through it, but I think he'd win a decision because if Lewis hadn't seen it, Emmanuel Stewart has. And a lot of these guys who have trouble against old school style fighters, it's because they don't have a lot of experience. They haven't been developed properly, and their coaching staff doesn't have a lot of experience and hasn't developed people properly. Emmanuel Stewart, he didn't have holes in his knowledge. There wasn't a style or a fighter he couldn't come up with a effective game plan for, and that's the crux of my argument. Lewis is big, strong, he hits hard, but he also has a much better corner who's good at preparation and elite at in-game adjustments. That's hard to beat.
But you have to remember this. The fighter has to have the tools and the ability to do it. Yeah. And that's one thing I think when Lennox was being heavier, I think that's what would hurt him. Now, if he was a little lighter and a little quicker, because it's because Larry Holmes' jab was so quick, it's hard to time that. Like he really didn't get counted. His jab was so quick and sharp. People didn't really have the opportunity to time that. You know, if you think about it, like maybe old Tyson, but I mean, like that's about it. I mean, when he's older and fought Mike Tyson, yeah. But after that, like I can't think of a time where Larry Holmes' jab became a liability.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all all make excellent arguments. Like I said, the crux of my argument is you have one of the best preparation guys who's seen everything, and you have a great in-fight adjuster. To me, that's hard to beat. And I don't know that Holmes has ever faced somebody that kind of caliber in the corner.
So you basing it based off so Manny Stewart is your X factor.
Yeah. He's that good. I mean, I think he's that good, but everybody in boxing he's the gold standard. He beat every style. He's developed every type of fight. Okay. Well then that's how I feel, but that's how boxing history feels. So that's got to be an X factor. Coaching matters. When you have elite talents, coaching matters. Now, if Lennox Lewis was garbage, wouldn't matter. But when you have comparable talents, coaching matters. Who's in that corner? Who's telling you? Who's seeing the action and breaking it down matters. Because not everybody can break things down in a fight. Everybody can do it after. Everybody can do it before. But in the moment, can you be like, this is what you need to do to take this away. This is exactly what you need to do to smother him, to get back in range, to control the range, to break him down. A lot of coaches can't do that. We see it all the time when they're in the corner. Oh, just go get him. Just this is throw the right hand. How? How do you want him to get the right hand there? Does he need to throw it hard? Does he need to tighten it? Does he need to extend it? Does he need to whip it? Y'all just giving him general instructions because y'all haven't seen enough to make it the specific adjustments to a style. Stewart was really good at that. He was really good. Look at how guys fought before him and after him. Big elite fighter on the downside after.
Coming out of that world famous gym out of Detroit, Michigan called Kronk. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
You'll get all the looks you want. He'll find the sparring partners to get you ready. He'll find it. He'll spend the money. He'll do whatever it takes. Lewis would be better prepared than anybody else Holmes had faced. That's all I'm saying. And that matters. And Lewis can make adjustments to a degree based off of Stewart. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's better, not a better boxer, not a more mobile fighter. But to me, coaching matters. As a person who's cornered fighters and coaches athletes, coaching matters. When the talent level is close or equal, coaching matters a lot. That's what's the separator. Don't listen to me. I had to take him to the Risen Championship. He needed me to carry him. I just messed with you.
That's all good. It's all good. You help me
out. One more. You want to add something else?
No, go ahead. We'll get to something else after we do this one.
Okay. This one's on my brother-in-law. Ricardo Finito López versus Naoya Inoue. And López is smaller, so he fought at like 105, 108. So we're going to put this one at 115, hypothetically. He was 5'5", 65-inch reach. This is at 115 pounds. Orthodox, lean, muscular, strong legs, and strong core. Trained by the legend Nacho Beristain. Great counterpuncher. Flawless footwork, underrated defense. Yeah, from the Ramonza Gym. Sorry for my Ramonza Gym. And anyway, 5'5", 3.5 reach, 115 pounds, orthodox, lean, muscular, big leg. Trained by his father Shinjo Inoue from the Ohashi Gym. He's a power puncher, excellent at distance, speed, and technical skills. Mo?
Y'all do a really good job on these matchups. I'm not gonna lie, these are good matchups.
Thank you.
I think López might have been better technically. Has good defense, puts the body really well, but I just think that Inoue is too dynamic, too powerful, more athletic, and I think that's what carried the win. Because he's not only is he dynamic and athletic, but he's pretty skilled as well. He's not, he has good technique, and I think the Japanese punching style, man, it's hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat, especially if you're there. If you can't move fast enough, you know what I'm saying? Your defense can be there all you want, but eventually all of the punches that you're blocking with your shoulder, with your arms, take a beating, and then you slow down. I think Inoue is just too quick, too fast, and too explosive for López.
So you're saying the volume is the difference with the Japanese style?
No, I'm talking about just the punching. You know what I'm saying? And Inoue, I'm talking about Inoue style. You know what I'm saying? With Inoue style, I think Inoue will just beat him up later rounds. I think it'll be close at first, but then the power and the athleticism will show. Because Inoue's not reckless. He's pretty technical. He holds a good position.
He don't waste punches.
Yeah, and he goes to the body really well. And if you see his earlier fights before he fought Donaire, he beat the guy from Argentina, Omar. Going blank on his name. And Omar was a beast, and he stopped him with body shots. He's done really well. He goes to the body really well. Puts his punches together really well. And I think that Inoue is just too skilled and too athletic and too powerful for him. I got Inoue.
I'm sorry. I'll go second.
You got decision or knockout?
You know what? López. López has never been cut. Stop. I just think. You know what? Decision. Because he's still skilled enough to where he could stay on his feet, but Inoue is a different type of monster.
Different, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go second.
Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. I think once again this is gonna be a common theme y'all hear from me. A lot of the thing that separates Inoue and Crawford and certain guys like them, even Usyk, they're very old school in their boxing style. And what I mean old school is their preparation. They really face different styles in sparring. There was an escalation to their pro careers, and they actually address holes in their game. Like, you don't see Inoue make the same mistake. I mean, there's holes, but he doesn't dramatically, consistently make that same mistake from round to round, from fight to fight. There's an adjustment in the counter, an adjustment in the setup, adjustment in the defense. And that's what gives him a huge advantage. Not just the athleticism and the power. He's just a much better studied fighter, a much better schooled fighter. He has a broader skill set. He has a deeper skill set than most guys. Most guys are come for brawlers, volume, slick guys. There's no mix up of the skill set. There's no mix up of the mentalities. So he's like an all-terrain fighter, more or less. And a lot of guys are basically one terrain. That's why I think the fight with López would be tough. It'd be, in a sense, similar to the Donaire fight, because he's facing a guy who's also old school, a guy who's very durable, a guy who's very rugged, but a guy who actually knows how to legitimately box. A lot of those openings that Inoue sets up early aren't going to exist against López. So early in the fight, his feints, even the shots he throws to scare you off, he's going to get punished for those. But the thing that's going to make me pick Inoue is Inoue has another gear to go to. I don't think López has another gear. So even if it's tight, when Inoue starts really sitting down on shots and putting shots together, he'll take chances because he trusts his chin and his power. So he could fight stupid in spots and turn the fight completely. López would have to fight smart and disciplined through the entirety of the fight. I don't think he has the physicality or durability to just grit it out. And at a certain level, once the same thing with talent. When the talent equals out, coaching and skill comes into play. When the skill evens out, then talent and physicality comes into play. And I feel Inoue has those advantages. I don't think he stops him. I think it goes the full 12 round, but I think he comes close to stopping him.
I got Inoue for all the above reasons both of these gentlemen said. Just his talent and skill set, his speed. He don't waste shots. I like López, but Inoue is just, he a whole different level. His talent is again, López is a beast too. I don't think he knocks him out, but I definitely believe he gets an easy decision. It'll be close for the first 4 or 5 rounds, but after that, I think Inoue will run away with it.
Yeah. I'm a homer. I'm a big-time Naoya Inoue fan. I mean, I'm up at 4 in the morning watching this fight. I don't miss a fight of his. So, to me, he's probably the most complete little guy I've ever seen in my life in terms of 122 pounds down, in terms of power, precision, footwork, defense, speed, the way, and his killer instincts, like, puts him over the top too. When he knows someone's hurt, he comes in front of the kill. He's very intelligent when he comes in for the kill too. The 2 times that he got caught in his fights, this is me. Mo's smarter than me when he fights, being in the ring and knowing. But to me, I think he got a little too cocky. He dropped his hands down. I know Tim Brown, you catch him in exchanges, he drops his right hand. Okay, he did that a couple times. But like Schwan said, able to adjust to those mistakes. I think he gets a little too cocky. He didn't do that against, better fighters, like where he keep himself defensively sounded. I mean, I know he got his eye socket broken against Donaire, but Donaire is this. He hits anybody, you're going to get hurt. You saw that against Darchinian and all these other guys. He's pretty complete, So Inoue has the power of like Darchinian. He has the power of Donaire that just shocks you to knock you out when he connects. And that body work I think, is to take him over the top against López too. López is what I watched. I was telling Mo earlier. Juan Manuel Marquez got style from Ricardo López. You watch them; they love to show that they work that lead cut. That's their bread and butter. That's the Nacho Beristain thing. They love the counter punch. They love the body on top, and they love that lead left uppercut. That's their bread and butter. So I think the way to beat that, obviously, he's got to be quicker. Throw those jabs out there and throw punches and bunches. That's what Inoue's going to do. Get in, get out, better footwork. And then I think, like I agree with Mo saying, Mo said he's going to break him down later in the fight just because of that overwhelming power. Once you get hit with that, sooner or later, you're going to mentally break down. You're going to physically break down too. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he got caught to the body. He starts from the fight. I don't see anybody other than Canelo that starts the fight from round 1 all the way to round 12 and just works the body nonstop. That's what makes him feel good and dangerous. He doesn't give up on the body work. I think he's going to stop him late because of the body work. That'll be too much.
I think that's did really well. So I got 2 matches though. I got 2 matches for y'all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if I already said this one before, but did I say Beterbiev versus Vasiliy Jirov already?
No.
And
Beterbiev versus
Mike
who?
McCallum versus Bernard Hopkins, and Beterbiev versus Vasiliy Jirov.
At what weight? 75?
Cruiserweight.
Say all even. They meet at cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight.
Don't forget, Jirov went up to heavyweight and fought Michael Moore, and he also fought Baby Joe Macy and ruined Baby Joe Macy.
Did he fight Toney?
I do.
Who am I thinking
He
of?
ruined Joe Macy.
Well,
Who's going first?
yeah, per Baby Joe had a brain issue, so
Brain bleeding, yeah. Bleeding from the brain.
yeah.
Remember, he came on strong the last 3 rounds and fucked him up the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
I love that fight. So let's start with Jirov versus Beterbiev.
Okay. Who you want to go?
Who you got?
B?
You go first, Mike. I don't know. I'm trying.
That's Jirov. I think Jirov wins that easily. At cruiserweight, Jirov to southpaw, and I think Beterbiev struggles with guys that are high volume punchers that can move. He struggled with Bivol. I thought Bivol won both fights in my opinion. I thought Bivol was just out punching him out, throwing more combinations, the footwork, that in and out style, the range. I think Jirov is going to do the same thing. I think Jirov's going to be a little bit bigger, and he's going to frustrate Beterbiev. Remember, Beterbiev's been dropped before in a fight a couple years ago. He got caught, but he's there to get hit. So I think Jirov would be too much for him. I think Jirov would overwhelm him. I think just the footwork, the southpaw, just too much power and too much combinations will be much. He won't be able to get Jirov in and out. By the time Beterbiev sets up, the throw and be hit with 4 or 5 punches. So I think it's an easy. Good.
I think Jirov stops on body shots.
Yeah.
You forget Jirov gets a body. Jirov would throw.
Jirov was a monster.
Throw so many punches. That's why he was one of my favorite Russian fighters, man.
Yeah.
When he fought James Toney, I was like, oh my God, because I remember watching him on ESPN, and they wrote out James Toney, but I understood why, because Vasiliy Jirov was a
monster.
And wouldn't stop throwing punches. He had a good chin. He had a great chin.
Yeah.
He was very durable. He had a big heart, and he threw a lot of punches. And I think he was pretty quick. He cut some angles here and there too. He getting in close to smother you. And Beterbiev needed some range. He needed mid-range to do work. But Vasiliy Jirov was pretty effective in all ranges. And he had a dirty style when he needed to be dirty. And I think he just outworked Beterbiev and probably TKO him with body shots.
That's why Roy fight him after he beat John Ruiz.
I would. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
Oh no! I was about to say something, but go ahead.
I said that's why there were talks of Roy versus Jirov at 200 pounds. Roy had just beat John Ruiz, so they wanted him to just drop down to cruiserweight because he already beat 199 pounds. Fought John Ruiz. He said, "Let's just fight Jirov." He fights going all the way down, but everybody's like, "Oh man, ducking Tarver since then." Tarver shot finally, so we all know what happened after that. But I think he probably thought it'd be easier to take on Tarver, an unknown name guy that's been after him since the amateurs, and kill it like Jirov. I don't blame Roy, but
I would have took Vasiliy. Vasiliy Jirov was a monster, man. He's one of my favorite fighters. Of course, until he fought James, man. But he easily one of the coldest left-handers I've ever seen. I think his footwork is superior. His body shot super underrated. Great all-around fighter, man. I like Benavidez, but I just don't see his level. Like, he's not on the same level of Vasiliy, So I definitely would take Jirov in that fight. Benavidez is good. Beterbiev. I'm sorry. Yeah. Beterbiev is good, but he ain't messing with Vasiliy at all.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think I'll
probably
just
would
say
take
a
E.
clean sweep with you guys. I'll say a clean sweep. Just this the volume. He's not a good enough defensive fighter. That's what Toney got him on.
Yeah,
Toney was able to roll with and get away from shots and catch him in between shots. And Artur, he can box, but he's not that kind of boxer. He needs you to be fearful of his
yeah,
power, and he needs to be able to impose his will on you, like physically from the
yeah.
beginning of a fight. Once he starts losing that physicality, he starts losing control of the fight. He starts losing fights. Just most people can't get through the power. I think Jirov could get through it, and he would just drown him with volume. And I think
Okay,
he's
Mike
actually looking
McCallum.
for a stoppage, so he'd probably stop him because he's looking for a stoppage. Bivol is trying to box the entirety of the fight. Jirov would turn up a gear to see if he could get him out of there, I think.
Yep, yep.
All right, Schwan. So who
Yeah.
wins? You started off. Mike McCallum versus Bernard Hopkins.
I'm just I'm gonna say McCallum. Once again, I think he was a better talent. A lot of Hopkins' success is being mentally tougher and just preparing better. McCallum was a guy who didn't ever really short the game. He was always in shape. He was always very well prepared. He always, to me, he fought to the full extent of his talent. He never let his talent dictate to him. I think the body punching would be a huge problem for
Woo.
Hopkins. Hopkins is used to, he's used to baiting people. You hit a couple body shots, he'll act like it doesn't hurt. McCollum's never going to let up off that. Early on, he's going to roast him to the body and start setting up those headshots off of it. So a lot of what Hopkins does just doesn't work against him. He's not going to dissuade him. He's not going to mentally psych him out. He's not going to clinch him and outwork him. So it's like all the tricks that Hopkins has are based on people having suspect character as athletes, and it's also based on them not having egregious holes in their skill set. Everybody he beat had a big hole in their skill set. McCallum does not have any big holes in his skill set, so there's nothing for Hopkins to exploit. So I don't even know that it'd be a close fight. I think it'd be similar to Hopkins versus Roy Jones, except McCallum's a much more technical boxer, so he might actually get Hopkins out of there. Hopkins wouldn't have there would be nowhere for him to run. There's no place that his defense would hold up or his offense would hold up after, like, let's say the third round.
I'll go next. I'm taking Mike McCallum too. Former croc fighter. I've never seen anybody go to the body like Mike McCallum. They called him the body snatcher for a reason. And I think everything Bernard does plays into the hands of Mike McCallum. I too think it will be a stoppage. Maybe not the third round, but I think fourth or fifth. I think it will be an easy fight for him. That's just me.
I go next. Mike McCallum, great jab, great counters. He was one of the most skilled fighters. I tell all the fighters I train to watch him. Yeah, he's a technical master. He had great footwork. Go watch his fight versus Julian Jackson, both of them.
The Hawk.
Got him out of there. Yeah, he was a smooth man. He had great footwork, great body work. Responsible with his defense. Very responsible with his defense. He looked athletic out there, but I couldn't tell how athletic he was because he looked so clean with this stuff. Rest in peace, Mike McCallum. He was a cool dude. But, man, I got Mike McCallum probably 10th round KO because B-Hop is mentally tough, and he probably try to foul him. Who knows? B-Hop might fuck around and get DQ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might get DQ.
Yeah.
With the bite shots. He might complain some low and throw some of his own, throw a headbutt, throw an elbow, bite him.
He might fall out the ropes, hurt his shoulder again.
Yeah, I can
Right.
see. I can see B-Hop doing it like find a way to get out. Probably getting fouling them and getting DQ. Because Mike McCallum was just too smooth, man.
And he coming. Ain't them body shops that they not stopping.
Rest in peace, Mike McCallum.
Yeah.
Marty.
Didn't Roy didn't want to end up like Mike? Didn't Roy said he looked up to him, he didn't want to fight in his career, or was that Floyd or Roy? Said they don't. Oh, it was Floyd, right? Said he didn't want to keep fighting, and end up like how Mike was later in his career. But
Well, it sounds like
yeah, I would
something
say,
Roy would say, to be honest.
Huh?
I said it sounds like something Roy would
Was it
say,
fun?
to be honest. That's what sounds like something Roy would say, but I don't know that it was him.
I think it might have been Roy because it was kind of like he contradicted himself because he still fought until he was like 45, and he kept going. So I was like, "Come on, Roy, you're on my favorite. What are you doing, bro?" But Yeah, I agree with everybody. I think Bernard is, like I said, I was saying earlier, against Toney, he's a slow burn type of movie in terms of starting and fighting style. He won't be able to against these guys. He can't start slow and expect to catch up and win. McCallum's going to be on him from the get go. Like I said, the body work, the head and body work's going to frustrate him. I agree with like most saying, he get frustrated. He's going to do something silly, or he's going to look for a way out of the fight. He'll probably complain about a low blow, and he's just going to do. He's going to get likely to get frustrated. He's going to lead with his head, do some Evander Holyfield shit probably, and try to cut him with his big head. So he'll do something like that, and once he gets in and try to get nasty, go low, and I see him get disqualified and try. Oh no, man, complain about it. Try to say winning the fight. It should never got stopped. I should have won the fight, type of thing. So, and when we see that, he really. I don't think Hopkins would allow himself to get knocked out or lose on the cards. He'd look for a way out. So I say DQ by Mike McCallum.
I think one thing we have to remember is Hopkins, as good a boxer as he was, the generation he was in allowed his reputation as a boxer to be highlighted, because when you start matching him up against all-time great guys in his divisions, the same consensus comes out. This guy would be able to match him in every area. He was a bad matchup. There's very few great fighters where people say, oh, Hopkins was a bad matchup for him. It's like, you don't say that. Toney, bad matchup. McCallum, bad matchup. There's a lot of guys for bad matchups. And the reason he got away with his style is because, once again, these fighters have egregious holes he can exploit. You can't be a slow burn if you can't maintain a pace, maintain distance, maintain and control engagements. Against guys who can't jab, easy. Against guys who have bad gas tanks, easy. Guys who can't put punches together, easy. Guys with bad defense, easy. But the veteran guys, the great guys, they didn't have those holes. So there was nothing for Hopkins to take advantage of to extend a fight to where he could start getting busy. That's the problem against all the great guys. They don't have enough weaknesses for him to get into his rhythm and disrupt them.
He struggled against guys that threw punches and bunches like Jermaine Taylor, Chad Dawson, Roy Jones. These guys beat him because guys beat him because they had high volume punching. And they're nonstop.
Exactly. Everybody saying he's an all-time great boxer. I'm like, he's intelligence-wise, he's an all-time great strategist. He is not an all-time great boxer. Technically, not at all. Like he's solid. Fundamentals are sharp, but he's not special here. This is where he's special. Here and here. Here,
He was more mental. He was more mental to me than anything else.
Heart, big heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here and here.
We got 2 minutes left, right? So we can throw out. If there's anyone that has one more mythical matchup, we can throw it out. But the breakdowns have to be quick. We're coming on the 50-minute mark soon.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, since we got to think of one, we'll call it a wrap, y'all.
Yeah.
We'll come back. You know what? We'll hop out on Saturday.
Saturday, I got one thing to say. So you had a couple of days, Mo, about my challenge. Have you came up with 3 topics yet for our PTI challenge between the real new king versus the old king? I want to know have you came up with 3 topics?
Oh yeah, I listen.
This man is determined. He ain't giving up.
Until Monday. I'm gonna smash him. Right? It's gonna be easy work. I'm gonna make it look like an amateur.
This is gonna be bigger than John Cena's retirement match on Saturday.
Call me James Toney. I'm gonna call you Iran Barkley.
Huh?
Yeah, call me James Toney. I'm gonna call you Iran Barkley.
All right.
Marty, that's on site. On site, you got to get Mo when you see him. I can't let nobody talk to me like that.
No mas. No mas, party, Marty. No mas.
Oh, this, Ron.
No mas.
This. All right, y'all. Well, that's the end of our show. We'll be back with some more action, y'all. With some more mythical matchups. We out.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Marty.
Peace. All right. You too, brother. Peace out, Marty.
All right, brothers.
Bye, Dar Gable. Good shit.
Hey, Mo.